Good afternoon and happy Sunday. I want to talk about a couple articles that I've run into. First one's by Neil Borofsky. Of course, he's the TARP Inspector General. He's overseeing all these bank bailout nonsense that's going on. Um, and it's not only what's in the article, but it's that it's everywhere. I saw it yesterday. This morning, it's in the headlines of the paper about how he's saying that nothing's been changed at all. Nothing's been fixed. Nothing's better at all. In fact, things are worse than when they started doing these bank bailouts. And he says that what we're looking at is total economic, catastrophic failure. In the article, it's pretty eye-opening stuff. You haven't seen anything like that in the media yet, but this is running all over the AP. Of course, we know that ever since the middle of 2 weeks ago, seen a real big meltdown in the markets, 700 some points on the Dow, and everything's collapsing below support levels and all this. But it really goes to kind of more reality's kind of stepping in a little bit. It seems like they're admitting now that things are worse than before. Nothing's been fixed. The only people, now they're kind of admitting what used to be conspiracy theory, right? Yeah, all those crazy conspiracy theorists. Now it's like, oh yeah, I guess that the only buying that has been taking place is through the Fed and through the government, and they're supporting mortgage-backed securities and stocks, and they're buying the futures at night. There are these stories going around all over the place now. It seems to me it's not an accident, that's for sure. Um, exactly what their point is to be seen, but I'll tell you what, if the markets start really sliding, they're going to have a lot of trouble on their hands. But I think they're at a point now where they're out of money. Of course, this goes to China too. China's pissed. I'm sure you guys have seen that story. They're pissed at us over Taiwan now, and they already weren't very happy with us to begin with over the debt and all this monkey business being talked about in these stories. We're borrowing money simply to try to keep the value of things inflated and try to make things look good. To me, the reason for that is so that they could get, of course, their global tax in place and the healthcare thing. Of course, these people are very highly invested in that stuff too. With these people um, that that are behind the central banks. They put tons of money into these systems that were supposed to be in place by now. The cap and tax and the healthcare. They were buying this stuff, so they would be controlling it, and it's not looking good now. So we definitely have real trouble. I'm going to link to the one story, the Neil Borofsky story. The other one that's really interesting is how the next thing up here is Fannie and Freddie Mac say Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, they say the next thing up is they're going to force these banks to take back these mortgage-backed securities they've been buying hand over fist for a year. And the article, I think it's in the Neil Borofsky story. He's talking about the Fed last month bought $17 billion worth of mortgage-backed securities. So the only people trading and buying this stuff is the government, really us. I have no intention of ever giving them a dime for it. All this new debt. That's I guess up to this point it's $147,000. I think was the last thing I've seen. Seen different numbers, but it's a lot of money that they expect us to now go and pay. I'm not doing it. Um, you know, uh, China's mad at us. I was watching some programs this morning, the Washington D.C. bullshit programs, and they were saying, yeah, well, yeah, we're going to keep this borrowing. We're going to keep borrowing going. Well, who are we going to borrow from? China. I think they're about ready to lob some nukes into Southern California or something. They're not happy with us at all, or into Alaska or whatever. Who knows? But they're not happy with us at all. They're pissed off big time at us. Who are we going to borrow money from? Argentina? We don't have the capability to borrow anymore. So there's those good stories. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. Of course, the banks are going under. They're dropping like flies in a cloud of decon, and but now they're supposed to buy back all of this bad mortgage debt and put it back on their books. I don't see it happening. I tell you what, I think we're on the verge of meltdown. And last week I was talking to a friend back in New York, and of course all year, the market's been rising through these futures, which is also exposed in that story. That's the Fed at night. The only way it can work is in a very low volume market to do this. But as I say, I'll pat myself on the back, but I was saying this 8-9 months ago that what they're doing is they're propping the markets up using futures. And that's what they do at night for relatively little money and little resistance. They can go in after hours, prop up the markets. They open higher than the previous close, and there you get your 12-month 4,500 point Dow rise, which you and I are also expected to pay for now. So interesting story anyway. I'll link to it. It's all over the place. It's over on Yahoo Finance. It's everywhere. So take a look at it. It's a little bit of good Sunday reading. Another thing, while I was out this morning, I stopped at Sportsman's Warehouse. I've been meaning to do this for a while, but I picked up just a cheap, it's just a little compact spinning rod. It's a little 5-foot ugly stick and a Shimano reel. It's one of their low line reels, but normally it was about $50. I paid $20 for it. They had it on sale. I said, heck, people are worried about food and food storage and all this stuff. Heck, the countryside is loaded with fish and game, so don't pass up on a chance of that. And just picked up a bunch of little Mep spoons. You can see them a little bit. They cost $1.50 each. Bunch of little small soft baits with jigs. Those work real good. So if you ever find yourself in a situation, you got a rod and you can go hammer some fish. It could be worse. It could be halibut and protein cubes. So yeah, times are getting real interesting here. If this market continues to melt down, they've got serious problems on their hands, and I think it will. To me, overall, okay, they've stopped doing the free money and the pump in the markets and all this. They've come to an end with it. Anyway, I'll just leave you with that. Take a look at the article. I'll try and find the other one too, but take a look at that one. Anyway, have a good rest of the Sunday. Have a good weekend. Bye. Damn it.